Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 21. That's right, our podcast baby can finally legally drink in the United States.
Woo! Spring break! Woo!
Oh no, you're staying home, young man.
Oh.
But yes, you're, I think I already used this one, but I don't care. Your parental hosts for the day are Kris and
Savannah.
That's right, that is us. We are here doing another episode of this podcast. Thank you so much for joining us for this one. And we hope that you like, subscribe, follow, rate, comment, do all that really good stuff to help build that musical community. We are trying oh so hard to build, and we want you to be a part of the entire thing.
Oh, yes.
So the best thing you could do is all of those things just we mentioned. More things in the future, but we'll get to that when we get there. So to those of you who have come back to this podcast, I can't believe you did, but welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Hope you enjoyed this episode like you've clearly enjoyed the previous ones. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the podcast. We hope you enjoy your stay, have some fun here today. And if you don't know what we do, every week on the podcast, Savannah and I will choose an album, either completely at random, special anniversary occasion, or we take fan requests, which we've done a couple already, so you can be a part of that too. Send us requests.
Yes.
Regardless, we choose an album, we discuss it at length, we rank songs, and then we rate the record.
Yay! That was
like,
my own canned laughter. It's independent.
Minus the laughter? That was a canned cheer.
Canned. I'm working on it.
You have like a whole week to like do these like little things, but you don't do anything.
Yeah, no, you know what? Okay, so this week I'm just going to go through all of the past episodes that I've done that, record my cheering, layer it all together, and create my own cheer for myself.
Okay, fair enough. Me as the editor doesn't mean I have to throw it in, but okay, at least you're working.
You're not you said the quiet part loud.
I tend to do that. Oops, Tug's collar. Anyways. It's fun to pick on you, but we do have a disclaimer we like to read, so that way we don't pick on each other. If we do, it's only in good fun, but we want to make sure we're all on the same page and not being a bunch of b-holes about things. So, the disclaimer is as follows. The following thoughts and opinions we're going to discuss regarding this album is strictly of our own personal interests. We are not professional music reviewers. We are simply two friends having fun discussing and listening to music. We encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter of each episode, but we do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence based on the opinions of ourselves or others. This podcast is a casual and for fun project, and you are welcome to take what we say regarding the albums we rate with a grain of salt. There we go.
Nice.
Smooth, like, kind of like for refrigerated butter, so it's like a little hard, but it can still spread.
Still works when you need it.
So, episode 21, we are here. It's Savannah's choice today. Woo! Again, it took a few episodes into the new year to finally get to one of yours, but we are here, and it's Megadeth with Countdown to Extinction. So, if you would tell us a little bit about Megadeth in this particular album.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Okay, then.
Megadeth is an American heavy metal band from Los Angeles, California, formed in 1983 by vocalist-guitarist Dave Mustaine and bassist Dave Ellefson. Megadeth is considered one of the big four metal bands, which also include Metallica, Anthrax, and Slayer. Lyrical themes throughout Megadeth songs include, but are not limited to, war, death, religion, and politics. Over Megadeth's almost 4-decade history, the band has seen multiple guitarist, bassist, and drummer changes, leaving Dave Mustaine as the only original member.
Do you think he's the X Factor because of that? Just saying. Anyways, continue.
It should be noted that Mustaine was lead guitarist in Metallica from 1981 to 1983, departing due to personal issues before Metallica's debut album was even recorded. There's your answer, I'm sure. Today's album, Countdown to Extinction, is Megadeth's 5th album and was released on July 14th, 1992 on Capitol Records and was produced by Max Norman and Dave Mustaine. Singles include Symphony of Destruction, Sweating Bullets, Foreclosure of a Dream, and Skin of My Teeth. The album hit number 2 on the Billboard 200 and has been certified 2 times platinum in the United States. It became Megadeth's most commercially successful album, especially during the wake of grunge music, 1992. There have been many reissues over the years, but today we'll just be reviewing the original 11-song record.
Yeah, so the re-release in 2004 with that song Crown of Worms, we will not be covering that. It's just 11 tracks on this one.
That's it. That's all.
Depending on how you feel about the album, it's either a good length or 11 songs too many.
Well, we shall see. We shall see.
I don't know if that's going to be a spoiler for anything. Maybe not for me, I guess. I don't know. It's not that bad, but we'll get into that, I suppose.
Yeah, we shall.
All right, we're here, aren't we? And Dave Mustaine. I think I already have a note about him right off the top.
Do you have disdain for Dave Mustaine?
I'm going to cut this call very quickly. Very, very quickly.
You walked right into it, though.
I guess I did, but I was so focused on wanting to say something kind of negative about him that I wasn't even thinking about it. Song number 1, Skin of My Teeth. O''my teeth. Skin of my teeth. Whatever.
Yes.
So, as I said, I'll say this just to start the entire review. I do not like Dave Mustaine's voice. I do not like his mannerisms in his voice. I don't like his singing. I don't really like him. I try not to let it affect my score, but sometimes he forced my hand. So I'm just going to say that right off the top.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like you to go first, just jumping off of that comment there. So.
I mean, overall, this was some really straightforward metal, like especially of its time. The riff was kind of generic, but the guitars have great tones to them. A nice clean distortion. It wasn't like super messy and like kind of hard to decipher. It was like very to the point. Yeah. The bass tone's really good too. I liked it. It's nice to hear bass in 80s and 90s themed metal music, considering bass wasn't very popular back then, i.e. And Justice for All.
Oh yeah, like turn it down all the way.
Yes, the lack of bass. LOL, what bass?
Yeah.
The song's energetic enough. It's fun, but the verses feel kind of like standard fare after a while. But as long as you just kind of take it for what it is, then I guess it can be a good song to listen to. I can see why it's a single.
Yeah.
It's straight to the point. It's catchy. It can get caught in your head. I like the composition in the chorus too, as compared to the verses, because I don't know. There's just something more. There was something more about it that just felt a little more exciting, I guess. There's like a dissension in the chord progression and melody that I kind of really liked, so it added something different. Overall, a good start to the album.
Okay, so I'm just gonna verbal diarrhea this one. I really like, no matter what band it is, I really like drum intros to metal songs where it's just like pretty much a short drum solo and then everyone kicks in. It's just it adds that energy to it that you kind of need, especially for a I guess first song, intro song, whatever. Like you said, it really gets to the point without much bullshit. It just kicks you right from the beginning. I definitely would easily break the law driving to this song. It's definitely just metal song. It's what you'd expect from Megadeth. I did notice, I don't know if this what it is, but when it goes from the solo into the next verse, the guitar pick is like scraped against the strings. Whatever, that cool. I like that. That was sweet. But I wasn't like, oh my God, this song is awesome. It was like, I'm listening to Megadeth, cool. And that's all.
Yeah, the pick scrape is a very kind of like a cliche staple of like a lot of rock and metal music, so that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
It can be cool part depending on how it's done, but sometimes it's just kind of like, I don't know, heard it a million times. Do something interesting with it.
Yeah.
Do what Tom Morello does, and he does like the whole DJ scratch thing with his. That makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Rage Against the Machine shirt with the faded out star there.
Yellow shirt. Yeah, that was all I had for that one. I had nothing else.
Yeah, same with me too. Again, not a bad start to the album, so hopefully can carry this momentum. Tug's Collar. All right, so song number 2, probably the most noteworthy or at least memorable song by Megadeth, Symphony of Destruction.
Yeah.
So much so that I actually thought there was an album called Symphony of Destruction, but it goes to show how much I know about Megadeth.
So did I. I didn't know what this album was called until I looked it up. So.
And Same. I was like, oh wait, Symphony of Destruction's on this one. That's weird.
Yeah.
But again, really though, with Dave Mustaine's voice, just I can't. I try to entertain the idea, but I can't. His style, his mannerisms, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And this song is one of those ones where it really stands out. Like kind of like how you were talking about Bob Dylan last week, and how like he's got those like types of impressions and everything like that. Just the swagger in his voice. How you feel about Bob Dylan's voice is how I feel about Dave Mustaine's voice. Just I can't.
I can feel that. Yeah. I can feel that. I do like that he can go from sort of a darker growl to a higher register relatively seamlessly. Like that is impressive, because I don't think that like a lot of people are able to kind of get up that high from sort of a dark sort of, I just pretend you know what I mean, because I cannot explain with my own incredibly feminine voice. But I still like the guitar riffs in the song, having heard it almost literally a million times.
Oh, yeah.
I still like it.
I believe this song has been in like so many video games too.
Yeah.
Guarantee. I can't name all of them off the top of my head, but there definitely has been.
It's definitely in a wrestling game, but I don't remember which one.
I think I know that one. It might be 2007.
That sounds about right. It's either like Raw versus SmackDown or SmackDown something.
It might have very well been one of the Versus games there.
Yeah. But that's all that I know about that. But I don't know. For me, it kind of reminds me of like a blues song where it has that call and answer where it's like the vocals, then you get the guitar riff, then the vocals and the guitar riff. And I kind of like that. And the solo, it doesn't stand out to me as a solo I would remember if I wasn't actively listening to the song. And that kind of sucks.
Well, that's kind of like a lot of like every solo in this album. There's nothing really memorable about it. Whereas like other bands, if you hear a solo, it's like, oh, that's from that song, obviously. Like nothing about Megadeth really stands out with theirs. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
This song is another situation where the chorus was a lot better than the verses, in my opinion. Like, yeah, the playfulness of the vocal guitar, the verse, that's fine and all, but I mean, just anything that makes Dave Mustaine stand out, I don't like, so unfortunately, that's all I have to say about that part. The bridges between the verses and choruses were really cool too, so at least there was like, the choruses were good and there was padding between too, so something that really catches my attention are nice. The vocal harmonies in the chorus does a lot for the composition of the song, which I was really appreciative of. It's like a minor progression and adds like a lot of character to the song, makes it interesting. So, hey, I'm all here for it. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but maybe there's just not enough going on altogether in this track because it just doesn't keep me as much, even though it's like a super popular and like well-known song. Just, I don't know. I mean, cool guitar solo, cool chorus, and ... question mark, shrug shoulders.
Yeah. My final words on this is I like this one.
All right, cool. I mean, at least one of us does. I don't hate it, but just, again, not enough going on for me to really care about it too much.
Yeah.
I won't change it.
From somebody who is consistently using those sentiments in almost every single review we have done thus far, I definitely understand.
Very good. We're finally finding some common ground here somehow. All right, song number 3, Architecture of Aggression. As if Symphony of Destruction, now Architecture of Aggression. Something of something, X of Y.
Yep, yeah. My first thought was, yes, guns. Cool.
Edgy metal music.
I don't really know what to say about this one. It's not my favorite and probably won't be. Although I did like the bridge part before the solo at about 2 minutes or so. I did enjoy how that sounded, but it didn't grab me at the beginning as much as the last two. There's something about this that I don't really like. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the scales they're playing or if it's sort of just whacked out notes. I don't know, but it feels like 17 song ideas crammed into one song.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. It didn't feel like, it kind of felt like a book of short stories rather than a novel.
I swear to God there was a note kind of like that. Like, it might have been back during the Beastie Boys or something like that, but you said something kind of along the lines of these, so it's like, it's funny how that kind of thing gets drawn back out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guns and the god-awful MIDI strings in the beginning, just I wasn't a fan of. And yeah, like, the gun sounds, the explosion sounds, like the same sounds you would hear on like a $25 Yamaha keyboard from like Radio Shack or something like that. I mean, shout out to anyone who remembers Radio Shack. Are we old yet? I mean, just don't bother with that sound again. Like, again, you're just trying to be edgy. War, metal, snarling.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't have to be done. You could have just literally started the song.
Yeah.
So with the way the guitar opens this song too, I was kind of hoping it would go into a faster thrash metal beat. Considering Dave Mustaine was the guitars of Metallica in their like bigger thrash metal days, i.e. Kill 'Em All. I mean, like, I was hoping for that, but no, it's just still more of the same. So I was just like, oh no, we're kind of riding bland right now. And again, the chorus was far more exciting than the verse. But the verse wasn't particularly bad in this one.
Yeah.
It just feels similar to the other tracks, so again, didn't stand out too much. Chorus does it again for me. In the chorus, I do like these drawn out guitar chords, because like you can hear just like the basic guitar riff, but then there's like these like long standing guitars just strum for like half or whole note type thing.
Yeah.
I thought that sounded pretty cool. It adds a lot of tension to the music. So tension equals intrigue. Why not? You get points for that.
Yeah. Yay.
But other than that, that's all I have for Architect of Aggression.
I have one more note. Every time I hear the song title in the song, I actually try and hear how it's used, like in what context they're using that title or why it's called that. I spent so long listening to this song trying to hear the word architecture. I kept hearing aggression because it's at the end of the line. I could not hear him say architecture at all. I have no idea how he split up the syllables, how it said, but my frustration was immense, and then I moved on.
I heard him say architecture at one point.
Yeah.
And the syllable breakup wasn't that good.
Weird. It was weird. It's like if you're trying to sing along, it's like you literally have to listen to it over and over and over and just practice because it doesn't come naturally. It's very strange.
No, yeah, it feels a little forced and just, I don't know. Probably could have worked your way a little better around it. Or, you know what? You could also, you don't have to say the exact title of the song in the song. You could change it to say Architect of Aggression, even though the song's called Architecture of Aggression. Like, it would still give off the same idea. Artists do that all the time, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and it would sound better to the ear. You wouldn't sit there going, what the hell is he saying? So that was moderately frustrating.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, too.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Alrighty, so song number 4, Foreclosure of a Dream. I think this was the one where some of the sound sampling was like stood out the heaviest, if I remember correctly. It might have been the previous track, though. Yeah. Regardless, God, I don't like the sound sampling in this album at all.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it. You're just trying to prove a point. War and politics, aggression. Yeah, so that's my best Dave Mustaine.
Well, I would say you're pretty spot on with that one, especially with the snort and the snarl. Yeah.
Speaking of Dave Mustaine, though, his voice does not sit well at all on an acoustic guitar. Not even a little bit. Like, if he was doing his cleaning kind of whatever higher singing, then maybe that's where it sits well. But when you're doing this on top of an acoustic guitar, it's like, it's literally just go sit on a fucking exhaust pipe. Fuck you.
You know what? I don't like to agree with you for obvious reasons. I'm smarter. But I agree. I definitely agree with this one.
That means I'm winning.
Now, so a positive. I don't know if I'm hearing it correctly, but in the acoustic intro, I hear like just one bent note, and I liked it because if it wasn't there, it would just sound more boring. I wish like there was more kind of embellishments, but whatever. I just took it for what it was. I thought the song was going to stay slow, but when the double bass and electric came in, it actually kind of excited me. I was like, oh, this is going to go places. I don't think it really did. I did make a note that says, did he just say Holocaust? Because I've never really paid much attention to Megadeth lyrics.
He probably
ever.
does.
Like I don't listen to lyrics. Like, not only is that kind of a staple of the show, we don't really do lyrical breakdowns unless it's really relevant. But I heard that and I was like, it pulled me out of the song because I was like, wait, what the fuck are we talking about right now? And I was way more concerned with the subject matter than the music itself. 3 minutes in, I became kind of bored. And I did put a sub note to that. Yes, I know that's through the solo, but it sort of lost me.
Yeah. And yeah, as for the lyrical content too, like, again, I didn't really focus on it either. But yeah, if you heard the word Holocaust, considering the themes of the lyrics and everything like that, it wouldn't surprise me. And he's not necessarily talking about, like, you know, the World War II Holocaust. It's just Holocaust in general. Although, I don't think that word's really used much
for anything else.
Because, I mean, other than that, you use the word genocide, but Holocaust was, like, specific.
But it's like you're listening, you're like, okay, I'm listening to the music, and then you hear that, and it's just like record scratch. You're like, wait, hold up.
You'll never believe what happened to the Jews. Dave, can you not do that, please? And also, don't say that again.
Okay. I was gonna make some sort of segue into I'm sweating bullets, but you know what? After that, it doesn't even deserve a joke. That was the joke itself.
You
right
segued
there.
way too early. I haven't even talked about the song yet.
No, you know what? The song's over. We're done.
This song is an instance where the verse actually feels better than the chorus. I know that you said you liked it when the song picked up. You thought it was more exciting. I like the acoustic part because it felt different so far. At first, I was worried it's like, oh no, we're gonna get like a shitty metal ballad.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It actually ended up sounding pretty decent in the verses, so I was okay with it. I like how it feels with like the halftime drums, like the slower beat drums and everything like that, and like the occasional electric guitar behind the acoustic. Like I kind of like the layering of all that. It felt pretty good. I like the mix of the acoustic and the electrics, like the balance of it. It's balanced nicely throughout the track, so you're not getting too much of one or the other. Everything feels appropriate. It's nice to have these different textures. So it's funny how I won't say much, but like the song is pretty high on my list, but not like the highest, I'll say. Mm-hmm. But I feel like this is like the most positive I've been so far.
And we're so like close to halfway.
Yeah,
so
we're already getting there.
Not too bad.
Well, considering it's like 47 minutes for the 11 songs, it wasn't that bad to get through.
Yeah.
Although, like, if you listen like I do, I do also like what you do. I write my notes while listening, but like I'll pause and sometimes I'll even go back, and like I'll skim a song very quickly again just to make sure I feel the way I do about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 47 minutes, but more like an hour 10, just to really make sure everything gets hammered home.
Yeah.
All right, so you got blah, 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 sweating bullets transition, rewind. Maybe if I'm smart enough in editing, but now that I'm hearing this, maybe I'll go back and actually just cut that portion back in right there.
Sweating bullets. Oh yeah. Just double it. There you go. Sweating bullets. And it's nothing. There's no padding around it. It's just me saying sweating bullets, and that's it.
I have a decent amount not decent, but whatever amount to say about the song. So if you want me to go first, I will, but maybe you should.
Okay. Now, I may say some ridiculous things. Surprise. I imagine Dave Mustaine walking down a dark alley, snapping his fingers like a greaser to this song.
You already said that to Daughters. You can't say that now.
Yeah, well, like definitely this one. Just because as the beat comes, it's sort of like I don't know how to describe it other than it makes me want to kind of move in my seat a little bit, so I definitely feel that. Whatever. This could be in a jukebox musical, which I just learned a jukebox musical is a musical that actually has like real songs, like We Will Rock You and etc. So had to use that little tidbit of knowledge. And I enjoyed when the drums were going left. I guess I don't know how to describe it, but you know when they go from like the floor toms to the higher toms, like I don't know what to call that. But in the headphones, they were going left to right as it was going. It was panning. So I enjoyed that.
It was like a panning and ascending, I guess. That's the best way.
I always like when it does that in the headphones, because if it was in both, it would just sound sort of flat. But I like it kind of sounded sort of dynamic.
Yeah, usually how they mix drums, especially back then, like it's like mic'd all over the place, so they have the mics just covering every area, so then you just mix them how you want and then throw that into the mix, blah, blah, blah. So
I like
works
that
out
decision. Well. Yeah, I like that.
Oh boy, I got some things to say because wasn't a fan.
I do have more, so I'm going to pad yours. So you go now.
Okay, well then maybe I'll stop halfway through so you can like put a little more potentially positive on it, I guess.
Yeah. All right. That's optimism. That's optimism.
We'll see how this goes.
All right.
So first off, the opening riff of this song sounds like something a high school kid wrote in his very first band that maybe played 3 shows in the school cafeteria. What a opening riff! You got me hooked, kid. Now what? Yeah. And I had to keep stopping this track because listening to Dave Mustaine do his "Hello Me," hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Fucking. Yeah. It's bad. It is bad. I shit you not. Like I'd stop the song, I'd step back from my computer, put my hands on my face like this, be like, oh no. Yeah. Like I was physically reacting to how bad it was, and I said I kept stopping this track. ... Fucking Dave. Yeah.
Like that's your whole review. It's just that.
There's almost nothing in this track that I find exciting, like at all, until the solo kicks in about halfway through.
Yeah.
It finally sounds good, and when that cool solo ended, I whispered to myself, "You can't end. Don't leave me here."
Yeah. Take me with you, please.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, say something good. I got to keep going.
Yeah, I can't. The intro was ho-hum until the vocals kicked in, and then I felt verbally harassed, like a rude and mean ASMR, where it's like someone's in your ear just spewing insults to you. That's how I felt. Didn't like it.
Great story. Tell it to Reader's Digest.
Yeah, not into it. I'm just gonna keep going with all of this.
Yeah, might as well.
Some of these solos just don't hit me like they should. I can tell what they're going for, but it just doesn't get me, I guess.
I love this entire album, I swear to God.
Or I don't get it. These samples just remind me of Metallica's One, and I'm not sure if I even like it in that song. And I have grown tired of the vocals at about 4 minutes, and there's still 1.5 minutes left.
I did say please stop with the random sound samples. I know I said that previously, but in this one I actually wrote that note.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you don't need to do it. Like, sampling could be good depending on how it's used, and they did not use it well in this entire album.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it.
But they got a new piece of technology. They had to just smear it on everything.
That's what industrial metal is for, okay? That's what they did in industrial metal. So just leave it to them. You carry on your weird fucking wannabe Metallica heavy metal. I just pissed off every Megadeth fan.
Yes. Hey, I'm the one who picked this album, so I mean, I guess I'll take the heat.
You have to fall on the sweating bullet. I have to keep snorting every time. The impression doesn't feel complete unless I snort.
Yeah, it works. It works.
It really does. So the last note I have, like, okay, and this is written in all caps, but I got to break this down a little bit. So just before the final verse, there's this moment of like the vocals pitching up, like an echoing. I hated it, and I wrote the following: stop, don't, end, eliminate, erase, delete, conclude, never again.
Oh, I thought you were going to say eradicate, but yes.
At that point, my brain was just fogging. I just wanted to stop writing, so I just put never again, and that was it.
Yeah.
It served no purpose, and there's a few more things in this album that serve no purpose, and I didn't like that. Didn't like this song. Maybe spoiler alert, but the idea is just like, this was a single. I don't know how. I don't know why. Whatever. Okay.
Yep.
I'm exhausted. And I was especially angry that it was like halfway through the album. Like, there's still half an album to go.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready to hit number 6.
There were some decent moments coming up in the album. Like, not everything's great after this, but there were some pick-me-ups. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. This Was My Life. All
right, I'm gonna go first because I literally have 4 points.
Excellent.
I liked the riff that opened the song before it inevitably went to chugging guitar. I liked it. I wish there was more of it. There wasn't. To me, it sounds like an out-of-tune Wish version of Symphony of Destruction, and this song was boring. I found it boring. That's all that I
mean, you're not wrong. So I did mention too, like, this is starting to sound like other tracks. We're halfway through the album, so I hope something exciting is coming.
Yeah.
This note's just as I wrote it. There were some cool hammer-ons in the verses, like question mark. I'm honestly trying to be positive here.
Yeah.
There was some cool hammer-ons in the verses that made it sound a little interesting, but other than that, just not a lot stuck out. And I also said parts of this really sound like Metallica, like vocally and instrumentally sounds like early Metallica. Guess Dave could never let go of being he could never shake off being kicked out of Metallica.
Yeah, and that was a decade prior to this album.
And 4
albums in between.
I think he still probably holds a grudge to this day.
Yeah.
I know they kind of briefly reunited on stage not too long ago, but
yeah,
he's still got that Dave disdain in his heart there. I used your joke.
Yeah, that's fine. It was perfect.
The solo sounds cool. It's just too bad that it was half-assed. So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, and I wrote another very nitpicky specific note here. So I think it's called a vibra slap. I could be wrong. But why was there a vibra slap sound at 3:10? Like, it just comes out of nowhere. It's nowhere else in the song, nowhere else in the album. It just out of nowhere, it's like
yeah.
I can't roll my R's. I'm terrible at that. But regardless, what purpose did this random out of place sound serve? Why did this feel necessary to be in the album? Like, just stop doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's a tiny little thing and it passed, but when it happened, I actually had to pause, rewind, or at least click backwards and listen to it again. I was like, why is this here?
Yeah. And even after a second listen, still no context?
No, because, I mean, again, I listened for that sound again in the song and I didn't hear it. Mm-hmm. Unless I missed it, but like, I don't know, I just imagine like Dave Mustaine wandering drunk through the studio while no one's there. He's like, no, you know what? This is my fucking album. And then he slams down his bottle of Jack Daniels. He picks up the vibra slap and then he just walks out of the studio.
Oh my God.
That's what I imagined this part was like.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah, I found it boring. That was really the cap on what I thought.
They said no to the maracas, so I used a vibra slap.
I am never going to grow tired of that. Thank you.
Good, because you fucking hated me for Bob Dylan last week.
Oh yeah, well, because it was fucking annoying. That's why. I can imagine, like, I can handle Dave Mustaine more than Bob Dylan, so this is fine. I can take it.
Hey Dave, do you want to record a song? Bob, I told you not to follow me in the studio.
I take it back.
I'm building this lore in my head.
I take it back. What would it be like if Dave Mustaine was in the Traveling Wilburys?
Oh, they would have kicked him out too. All right, song number 7, the title track, the halfway point, Countdown to Extinction.
Yeah.
So the opening bass riff in this one's pretty cool. Already stands out that way. It sounds nice. It's interesting to go with a major progression for this melody. And the chord progression, everything like that. It sounds nice. It's a nice choice and addition as compared to what the rest of the album has been so far. So I'll give it that. The chorus, once again, has some cool sounds in it. There's like this riding guitar that kind of plays in the background that's using like octave harmonies. Mm-hmm. So it gives it like a lot more depth to the sound. I really like that, and it plays through well. And I don't know, there's a solo about 3/4 of the way through the song, but I'm wondering why it sounded the way it did. It sounded very buried and muddied in the mix. Mm-hmm. It sounded fine. Like, I like the way the solo sounded, but just I wish it would stand out a little more. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like the other solos that there were, like, in how well they stand out, but this one was just buried somewhere back in the track there. I don't know why, but okay.
Yeah. So just going off the solo, I did like the solo. It might be the first one thus far. I know the solo isn't like spectacular shredding, but I think it fits quite nicely. I enjoyed it. I did like the drum triplets leading into the verse from the chorus. That was kind of nice. It added sort of something to it.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to just like the drums as the album goes on. Like I enjoy it. It's nice.
Certain
it's
points,
not,
I guess.
But it's like, I like it more than the constant guitar chugging or the constant this. It's like, I feel there's more of a variety in the drums than there is in the guitar. So I'm kind of focusing on that a little more. I do have a gripe, but I'll let you finish yours before I end with yelling.
I more or less already finished because I like it. This is another one of those albums, another one of these instances where it's hard to say much more without repeating myself.
Yeah.
Because a lot starts to feel the same. Like, this song wasn't bad. It's not terrible at the very least, but I mean, like, nothing stands out enough for me to want to talk about it. So, like, my notes are getting shorter and shorter because of it.
Okay. Why did this end with acoustic guitar?
Yes, agreed.
What the fuck is that? Do they
4 notes.
It was 5 actually.
Oh, okay.
It was 5, yeah.
Glad you counted.
Do they play this live and do they do a guitar change for an acoustic for just 5 notes? Like I need to know.
So.
I need to know. It's not a standout track. I wouldn't change it if it comes on, but I need to know if they've played this live and who the fuck stood side stage, gave a guitar, plucked 5 notes, hand it back. That's it. The fuck is that? Wasn't anywhere else in the song. Just right then. That was stupid and I hated it.
I remember it caught me by surprise when because the song was ending and I was like, I already had my score written down for the song and I was like typing out the next name and everything like that. And then suddenly I heard that and I was like, oh, where the hell were you?
Yeah. Yeah. I hated it. I hated it at the end. That was it. It made me mad. Like, what was the point? There was no point. It added nothing. It didn't lead into anything. It wasn't like it started acoustic, it ended acoustic. There was no point. That I need an explanation. That was stupid.
Yeah, and you'll likely never get it because Dave Mustaine's just like, I don't owe you anything.
You know, I met him in 2011, and I really should have asked.
Did he snarl?
No, he was actually a very nice guy, but I was also a solo female in my early 20s, so he was probably nice to me because I was on my own.
You know, you should come back to my green room. The couch is semi-comfortable.
Hell no. But I will post the picture when this episode goes out.
If you send it to me. If not, you get another nasty editor's note. We're saying Savannah didn't do something again.
Don't worry. I already sent it to you.
Good. I'll check my phone.
I thought of this.
Good. I will throw it in if it's legitimately there, and I will see it soon enough.
Hell yes.
Because, yeah, I usually when you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, I leave a nasty editor's note saying, everyone boo Savannah because she didn't do this.
My memory is that of an 83-year-old, okay? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm telling you, Post-it notes all around the screen. And color coordinate them by day of the week so that way you know like when it has to be done by.
All my Post-it notes are just to tell me to buy more Post-it notes. So,
one says remove old Post-it notes.
I'm terrible.
You are high-speed dirt. That's hey, at least you're high speed.
Wouldn't high-speed dirt just be a sandstorm? And then this is where I was going to go into going da-na-na-na-na and just singing sandstorm.
I would say more of a mudslide, but just like obviously dirt is dry mud, so I mean, and vice versa. So mudslide is what I'd more or less go for. But anyway, song number 8, High-Speed Dirt. High-Speed Joe Dirt.
Yeah. When the drums kick in, the guitar riff makes more sense, but alone, I did not like. I can jam to this. I like it so far, with the exception of the random acoustic guitar again. It came out of nowhere. What did it add? Same gripe. Not going to repeat it again and completely annihilate everyone's ears. I think people like this because it's loud and brash, but when you really listen to it for structure, and like if you think, hey, does this make sense? It is increasingly apparent that it does not. Not into it. I do not like the opening riff. It sounds like something you would hear from a kid's bedroom as they're learning to play the song.
Wow, we actually differ on this one quite a lot.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, I'm not into it.
I, on the other hand, was saying I was going to say that this intro sounded like the other tracks and was starting to blend, but it had some like really cool sounding chords in the riff, like made it sound really kind of neat. I like that kind of stuff, and you see that like in a lot of like modern metal too, like the dissonant kind of chords and everything like that. It stood out to me. I like it. Insert thumbs up emoji right there.
Yeah.
Too bad that excitement didn't last though, because once the verse started, I thought things started to blend, and that's when it got boring for me.
Yeah.
This song has some interesting creative moments in it. I can give it that much. It's just too bad that there's nothing to really help carry it out much further. So, I mean, like, you got something, but, like, you have no wheels to drive the car. So, I mean, you might as well just take the keys out of the fucking ignition at this point.
Yeah.
I felt this track was too long. This could have easily been a much more enjoyable 3-minute track rather than 4.5.
Yeah.
And the acoustic guitar part you mentioned, I believe that was just like a clean electric. I kind of did like those little licks towards the end. Interesting choice, but the thing is, like, why now? Why is it so brief? Play with the idea more.
Yeah.
You have something. This is one of those moments where it's like interesting creative moment, but the problem is like you didn't really do much with it. You kind of like showed the demo of it, and then you're like, well, now I'm packing it in.
Yeah, like it didn't touch upon something at the beginning. It didn't continue on. It didn't lead you anywhere. It just popped its head in the door and went, hey, and then shut the door, and you never see it again. It's like,
you guys want anything? No?
Yeah.
Okay, and he closes the door.
Yeah, like what did that add? Like seriously, it didn't add anything. Like that kind of sucks.
Yeah, if it went on a little more, I probably would have enjoyed it, because it's like, okay, you're doing something new with the track now, and it's getting towards the end of the track, so at least like you're doing one of those weird track split things. I don't mind those; those are fine. But yeah, it came and went very quickly. So, eh.
Yep.
Although I don't mind the song though. I'll say that much overall.
Yeah.
We'll see where it ends up a little later on.
Yeah.
We're actually getting closer to the end of the album now, so it's all good.
Yeah. I kind of figured that it was going to be short, but again, it was just over 40 minutes. Well, 45 minutes or so. So I mean, didn't have much material to work with anyways.
Not a whole lot, no. And I definitely don't have a lot of material to work with the next couple of songs, really. But number 9, Psychotron. Because it's badass and I really love Transformers.
Oh my God. Okay, now I'm okay. Now, I don't choose most albums because I've heard them and I like them. I choose a lot of them because I haven't heard them before, and this is a good reason to do so. Now, I don't know if these songs are supposed to sound a little disconnected, but to me, they do. And it leaves me more confused and less pleased with what I just heard. Okay. The mini solo around the 1 minute mark, and again about 30 seconds later, sounds like it came out of nowhere and was like, oh my God, I forgot the assignment deadline. Can I hand this in now? And it did, and it just, it did it. It did the assignment, even though it wasn't the time or place to hand it in. Like, your class ended. You came into the class and you told the teacher, oh, I have to give you this assignment. The teacher's like, no, like, you've passed the deadline. Like, this isn't the time and place. Like, I'm busy right now. And then you slap the assignment down. You're like, I'm going to ace it. You leave, and the teacher's like, no, stop it. It seemed random and not cohesive.
Yeah. It's like walking in to do a test and you do nothing but fill in all the C's, and then you hand it in like a multiple choice test. And
you're so confident that you passed, and everyone's like, what is your problem? That's how I felt about that.
Dude, don't you have a 55 average in this class?
Yeah, like, I'll ace it. It's fine. My last note, because I, spoiler, didn't like this song. I did not like the panning with the fucking title, Psychotron. It's like, stop it. Go away. It's like ASMR that I just want to just rip my eardrums out.
Dave Mustaine should start an ASMR channel on YouTube.
No. Oh my God, no. No, I hated that.
I'm going to tell you about why the government is corrupt.
Honestly, I did not hate 9 Inch Nails Year Zero. I didn't hate it at all. But if I want to listen to anything about politics, I'd rather listen to that than this.
I'd say to listen to Rage Against the Machine.
well, we haven't done them yet, so. But God, I was mad. Those solos were so stupid. They were in stupid places. I hated it.
All right, my turn.
Yeah, please, positivity.
You sound exhausted.
I do, emotionally and physically.
That's how I felt about Sweating Bullets. And again, that's probably a spoiler alert, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the bad songs, I never care if it spoils the score at all.
Yeah. Oh, just fucking wait. We still have 2 songs to go.
So the chugging to the opening riff actually makes a standard metal riff sound pretty good. I kind of like the way it was structured, but too bad it didn't continue like that. It went back to its standard, whatever the fuck. Here's a Megadeth song.
Yeah.
More Dave Mustaine character acting, singing, speaking, and then I wrote why, and why.
Yeah.
Just I wanted to bang my head off the desk, but I don't have enough room because I got my keyboard and mouse and stuff on here too. They tried something new in the song that I'm still not completely fond of. It has to do with the panning echoing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I think the vocal effect that was used is called a metalizer, if I'm not mistaken. And not even the use of a brand new vocal effect is going to make this song exciting or interesting. Mm-hmm. I was just like, look at you trying real hard.
Yeah. Oh, good for you, little Johnny. Oh, good for you.
And my final note is, it can't be good when the best parts of the track are the first 30 seconds and the last 45.
Yeah.
Because everything sandwiched between that is just pure shit. The shit sandwich.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah. That was it. That was it for me, at least. I checked out.
I really checked out on the next track, which is number 10, Captive Honor. Which I will say I originally read that as Captain Horror, which would have been a better name.
I'm just going to go ahead and venture a guess that we will have one song in common, at least.
I don't know.
Yeah?
Maybe. This might be the one, depending on how you feel about it.
After you.
Okay. Maybe if Dave didn't snarl over the acoustics, it might be better. He really ruins his own tracks so well. Mm-hmm. He has a knack for doing that. And as you've mentioned before, as I said with previous albums, saying it would be better as an instrumental than it would with vocals. And this is definitely that album, not even just the song, but the album.
Yeah.
And I don't like this little play they put on in the first quarter of the track, like this whole courtroom setting. It's just really cheesy and shitty, and like I think Dave plays like all the characters.
Yeah.
There's a guitar solo in this song that sounded like it was added way too late into the mix. Like it was like they were about to like literally press the album. They're like, oh wait, I want to add a solo to the song. Everything in the song sounds polished, but this solo sounded like it came out of like a really raw amp that didn't fit the rest of the production. And I was just like, why? What's the point? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. Didn't enjoy that part. Not a very good song.
Okay. So, first note, God, I didn't think I'd be looking forward to a slower Megadeth song, but here we are. The spoken word parts are cheesy as fuck, all in capital letters.
I used hell, you used fuck. Okay.
Those parts ruined the entire song for me. All of it. I hated that. I don't feel the spitty, gritty vocals belong in this song, and I am so sorry for constantly shitting on albums and rating them lowly, but I mean, come on! You know what? Spoiler, I fucking hated this song. I will never listen to this song ever again in my entire life, and if I am, it's going to be some sort of Clockwork Orange scenario where I'm forced to do it against my will, and even then, I wish I was dead.
The lovely Ludwig van.
That is my review of this song.
I'm going to say we're going to have 0 matches. That's what I think now.
Yeah.
Not that I rated that song highly, I'll tell you that much now, but I just don't think we're going to have matches.
Okay, well, then there you go. I hated that song. I hated it so much.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your absolute anger over that. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen you more angry over an album. Was it even funnier as one that you chose? It's not even one I chose. It's not like an anniversary request, anything like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't pick them because I'm like, oh, I really love this album. Like, there are a couple coming up that like I absolutely adore, and I swear if you don't rate them an A++ S tier, God, I love.
Are you
this
9 Inch
forever.
Nailsing me right now?
For one of them, yes. But this was not it. This one, I mean, truth be told, I've never actually listened to before. I wanted to listen to it. I wanted to like it. Didn't know what to expect. I am sad.
I appreciate your effort in wanting to listen to new music, or not new music, but like albums you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
And so you give them a chance live on the show.
Yeah.
But you, at this point, you need to give yourself a break, and I'm glad we have some of your actual choice albums coming up. You need to do that more in 2022.
Yeah, my next one is I love it. I love it so much. Oh, it's close to my heart.
I think I know what one you're talking about. I think we discussed that like months ago.
Yeah.
And yes, it is finally coming up, and you'll find out in a couple of weeks. We know, but you'll have to wait.
Hell yeah.
All right, so as if this song was took too long to disintegrate from our minds, it's now just ashes in our mouth. Song number 11, the final track. I tried the best I could.
Nice.
I have to get good with these quips.
Yeah. Get them in before I do.
So this song starts off with some actual like fun and creative composition. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, like you're actually like going for it. Like you're showing off any sort of talent you might have. And I was hoping it would stay like that through the track, but oh man, was I the fool once again.
Yeah.
You went from this creative fun stuff to just, you're back to this again type feeling. Yeah. I mean, in the middle portion sounds cool enough too, but I'm honestly just thinking I'm just thinking it's Mustaine that's ruining everything that has to do with this album with his singing.
Yeah.
As I already mentioned before, it's like, I know this is the end of the album, but this is the point where I actually wrote it in saying like, I think I would like this album more if it just, Mustaine wasn't singing. If he was just playing his guitar, that'd be fine, but
yeah.
I was so glad to get to this last track though, so I wouldn't have to listen to him speak anymore.
Yeah.
Or sing. But I do have one more note. It's slightly lengthy, but it has to do with the end of the song. So the drawn out ending felt kind of unnecessary because you think to yourself, okay, a couple of false endings type of deal going on here. You know, I can live with that. It's a staple of rock and metal. So whatever, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Especially because it's the end of the album too. Why did it have to fade out on multiple false hits, like false ending hits? You choose one or the other. The song either fades or you do the false ending or the drawn out ending, but he did it in the worst way possible where it felt like it was supposed to end several times, but instead of like just ending it because Dave's like, no, we keep one more, hit me one more time, hit me again. Yeah. I'm James Brown. Yeah. But no, then so the producer got sick of it. Because I'm convinced the song's actually 9.5 minutes long, but the producer got sick of it and literally just started fading it out because they wouldn't stop.
Yeah. Okay, so I really want to touch upon that point, but I do feel like we need to do some sort of compliment sandwich. So I do have some things that I do like about the song.
I did say some nice things about this song.
Yeah, so I feel like this one is a nice redemption from the last song. I did like the intro. I enjoyed how the guitar and drums are finally working together. Very pleasing to my ears. I'm glad that they ended the album with this because I do like it. I would have been pissed off if it was the last song. Yes, absolutely yes to the drum solo at the end. Finally, I like it. Awesome. As a casualty of the last song, I have grown tired of this, and I feel the song is a little too long, but it could just be my patience being at a -1 by this point. Now, I'm just going to read this exactly how I wrote it. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit away from the mic. Apologies in advance to everyone. Why did this fade out? You had cymbal hits you could have just ended it on, and you decided to fade it out? God, why? Seriously, that was so unnecessary. Like, you could have just 1, 2, 3, 4, ended the song, done, cut, dry, but you kept going and you faded out. When there is a clear ending, you don't need to fade out the song. And it reminds me of last episode where the song it fades out, but it fades out so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, there's no fucking reason. Like, and I just left the album going, what the fuck was this? And there was no resolution. It made me more angry than anything. I hated that. I didn't hate the song, but that ending was just like, what? Seriously? That made me so mad. I hated it. That part. I hated that part.
The rage is real.
Oh my God.
The rage is real.
But like, you hear that and you're just like, you have like, the cymbal hits and it's just like, okay, we can end it. It's when you're playing it live, you hit it and then the crowd claps, everything's awesome. But on the album, you fade it. Like, why? Yeah. And if Dave Mustaine is a co-producer of the album, motherfucker sat there and listened to it and was like, yeah, we're going to go with that. What the fuck is wrong with your ears, man? No, stop it.
He was kicked out of Metallica.
He says so jubilantly, like, oh God, that was a poor production decision.
It really was, and I like that we both had a note on the exact same thing.
Oh my God, yeah, that was not cool.
But also, to be fair, I didn't read it the way I wrote it because, like, I did write mine in all caps as well. Because, like, the all caps portion says, "Why did you also fade it out while you kept doing the false ending hits? Why? Yeah. How? No." Yeah. I already knew that I was going to yell. There was no way that I could just explain it nicely. The intensity in which I wrote that just had to be expressed. Your fingers cramped and everything. You're just like,
oh yeah. Well, I have to buy a new keyboard because I have just monkey slapped it with my fists.
You wore out the FUCK buttons on your keyboard.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. God, that makes me so mad. But you know what? I'm glad it's over and all my aggression is just out now. We're done. That's it. We can take a sip of water.
Is Dave Mustaine the architecture of your aggression?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Pun long since dead because that song was a while ago, but so was this album because it's over now.
Yeah, it is. Thank fucking God.
Yeah, it was a trip to get through. Not the worst album I've had to sit through on the show so far, but at the same time, just a lot I griped with, including, obviously, as I said, Dave Mustaine's voice, it's himself.
You are right. I do need a break. I need to stop picking albums I haven't heard. So I'm definitely ready for a breath of fresh air. So.
I have a feeling that the next 4 episodes we're going to do are going to be particularly interesting. And I think we're both going to have a good time going through it.
Yeah.
I want to say more about it, but we can't.
I also said the one that I wanted to do is coming up next. I do stand corrected. It is coming up soon, but it's not coming up next. So I don't want to give anybody any false. I don't want to give anyone any false hopes, but it's coming up sooner rather than later. I am so fucking emotionally exhausted right now.
It's gonna be a wild year if we keep getting albums like this.
Yeah, I fucking hope not. Let's do this.
Well, the album is over. It's fine. And if you are more stable right now than Savannah is, that means you made it to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to us talk about that. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. You rate, you comment, you follow. Let us know what you thought about these songs and everything like that, because we're curious to know your opinion. Especially if you're a Megadeth fan, tell us what appeals about this to you. We're not asking to critique or to critique you or make fun of you. We're just curious to know why you love it so much. Why is it near and dear to you? Why do you like Dave Mustaine so much?
Yeah.
But now that we've discussed the songs at length, we can finally go ahead and rank the songs, because that's what they need to do on this show. So boom, above our heads. The graphics have changed. Empty spaces empty spaces with name and numbers, I should say. That means we can place song in those placeholders. Placeholders.
Oh my God, this is never gonna end.
It's almost over.
All right.
It's almost over.
Oh God.
If there's a front man with distinct vocal mannerisms, you bet your ass I'm gonna jump on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thankfully, I can't say anything. Actually, I was going to say something about the next album, but I can't say anything.
I was going to say instrumentals from here on out. That's it. Nothing else.
We'll see about that one day.
That's done and done.
Okay, so let's do this. Rank the songs on Megadeth's Countdown to Extinction. I almost forgot the name of the album because I was going to call it Symphony of Destruction.
Might as well.
Song number 11, no surprises for me at least, Sweating Bullets.
Captive Honor. I hated that song and never want to listen to it again.
I know, and I knew As soon as you were talking shit on, I was like, we're not matching anything.
Well, I'm like, oh, maybe he didn't like it either. And then I'm like, oh, no, never mind.
Well, don't be too sure of yourself, because song 10, Captive Honor.
This was my life.
Was my life. That's not an F. Okay, there you go. Oh, we're doing this thing again. Number 9, This Was My Life.
Okay, I'm going to laugh very hard if your number 8 is my number 9, but Psychotron.
Psychotron. That's not an H either. God, I'm writing way too fast here. Number 8, Psychotron. I'm not even kidding. This is bullshit.
Hate this. Foreclosure of a dream is what that was.
Is that your number 8?
It's number 8, yeah.
Okay.
Try to throw some jokes in so I don't start bawling my eyes out.
Damn, that's the longest streak of one-offs we've had.
Oh, Christ.
Don't worry, it ends there, because number 7, Symphony of Destruction.
Oh, ooh, okay. Architecture of Aggression.
Whatever, I'm not going to write that. I immediately fucked up the writing. I spelled it like super wrong in the first 5 letters. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever.
I'm just going to write arc. There we go. Okay, so my number 6, Ashes in Your Mouth.
High Speed Dirt.
High Speed Dirt. There, I spelled that one right. Okay, number 5, Countdown to Extinction.
Countdown to Extinction, number 5.
So we did get one, okay.
Yeah, I called it at least one. It was the wrong one, but at least there's one.
Well, I thought we were eventually going to match on like Captive Honor, but then when you start talking shit, I was like, oh, we're doomed.
Yeah, hell no.
Number 4, Architecture of Aggression.
Skin of My Teeth.
Skin of My Teeth, which means we are not matching on anything else.
Nope.
Just going to say that now. Number 3, Foreclosure of a Dream.
Sweating Bullets.
Ew. How fucking dare you?
Yeah, well, I hated the other ones more than that one, so.
Tell it to Reader's Digest. Hindsight's always 20/20. The lyrics are terrible in that song, okay? Like he actually says those things.
Really? Actually? This
Yes.
is what I mean. Like, I never listen to the lyrics unless he says Holocaust. I'm like,
hello,
fuck?
it's me again. He actually does say, great story, tell it to Reader's Digest. I'm not kidding.
See, I thought you were bullshitting. I did not realize that was lyrics. Oh, God.
I wish I could write that badly.
Oh, my God.
Number 2, High Speed Dirt.
Ashes in Your Mouth.
Ashes.
Yeah.
And number 1, Skin of My Teeth.
Symphony of Destruction. It is the only song in the album I will purposely listen to.
Nah. Well then, we got one, so I should probably check that one off real quick. There, Countdown, the actual title track too. Did we do that before where we matched on the title track? I can't remember at this point.
I feel like we did, but I can't recall which one.
I feel like if we ever have the luxury of getting to 100 episodes, we should have like a quiz done about what we remember about the show.
Nothing. If I can't remember to send you pictures or clips or anything, I'm going to remember the beginning of the show.
I'm just going to throw that out there. If we do make it to episode 100, we need people to send us in quiz questions to see what we remember about our podcast. I'm going to forget asking about this, and then it's going to be like, hey, you guys still doing that quiz show? First off, we never agreed to. Second off, yeah we'll do it.
Yeah, sure. Why not? What else?
I can't wait to get 0 out of 20 questions correct.
I mean, if I haven't looked like an idiot the last 100 shows, what's another one? It's fine. We
got to make it fun for people, including ourselves. Maybe every week I'll remove one item from behind me and people have to guess what item it is. They'll do side-by-side video. Where is it?
Well, I do have to say that every time I look at your screen, my eyes just go from you to the cheese mask to you to the cheese mask.
It's pretty standout. I made a MIDI controller stand up in the background, so that's kind of cool, I guess. That's different.
I like it.
I'm eventually going to change my background.
Yeah.
But anyways, digressing way too hard here on a tangent. Yep. It's time to actually rate the record, i.e. the title of the podcast. So let's find out where Countdown to Extinction actually belongs on our list.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the size of that list. Ooh. It is the album ranking or rating list, I should say. Rate the record. There you go. And everything is where it should be. Last week we had Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde. I put that correctly where it should be, right between Guster and Brooks and Dunn down in the D tier. Mm-hmm. But this week is all about Megadeth, and it's all about Countdown to Extinction. I was going to say Symphony of Destruction again. It won't stop. So
when will you learn?
Probably after today, never, because we don't have to talk about it again.
Fair.
And yeah, last time I'll mention this casually. We have the new waiting room on the side there as compared to older episodes, and you can kind of get a hint for what's coming up in the future if you can really break down super mosaic pictures. So last week, Megadeth was all blurred out, but here it is. Here's the album that it was going to be. Mm-hmm. What are the other ones going to be? Ooh, you're going to find out. But anyways, time to rate the record. So Savannah chose this album. I'm going to go first in telling my score on it. This just barely stayed afloat in the C tier at 60.45%.
Oh my God, it did not do what I thought it was going to do. I picked 51.8. It was not my favorite.
Ooh, wow, 51.8.
And sometimes I'm like, maybe I could have rated it a little higher. Like maybe I was a little too hard on it. This one, I rated the songs I liked high, but the ones that I didn't, those were DOA, Dead on Arrival. That was it.
So, damn, I guess this means that we have once again another D tier album because the overall score comes to 56.12. And if I'm not mistaken, that matches up pretty closely with Bob Dylan, if I'm not mistaken.
The fact that it's that high is surprising.
Again, because I'm always prepared so properly, I don't have the scores in front of me. So it's going to be somewhere around, I don't know, like this particular area. No, wait, what am I doing here? I wasn't even looking at the screen when I did that. It's going to be like here, I think.
Yeah, whatever. I'll take it. That's fine.
Wow, I'm surprised I was actually more generous with that than you were.
I don't understand how it was so, I guess, critically acclaimed, how it hit 2 on the Billboard 200. Like maybe this was like the beginning of music and nobody really know what things should sound like. So like, yeah, this is awesome. Because in the 30 years since its release, I feel it has lost some of its novelty where things have progressed since then, making this album sound fairly dated, and I just don't see the appeal of it. Except Symphony of Destruction. I do like that song. I still like that
That's
song.
the thing with this album, though, is the fact that, like, even for its time, it wasn't, like, a revolutionary metal album. Like, there was already much more interesting things happening with metal by 1992, and much more interesting things had already happened since then.
Well, Metallica's Black Album had come out, and that was big. So it's like, how do you move on from that without just copying it?
Ask the guy who used to guitar for them.
Yeah, like I don't know. I didn't like it. I stand behind it. If anyone wants to tell me why I'm wrong, I will totally understand. I will read it. But unfortunately, that is not going to change my opinion.
That's fair enough. Well, that is the, third week in a row or something like that where we get a D tier album. We have started this new year off well. We started with like an A tier album and then immediately dropped to 3 D tier albums.
Happy New Year. Also, it makes 9 Inch Nails look top notch that way. Nothing can compare this year.
So far. I mean, in my heart, it's still S tier. I don't care what I ranked it on the show. But, I have a feeling in the next handful of episodes, especially, we're going to get into some really interesting music. I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah.
But yes, we are at the end of the episode now. D tier, unfortunately, for those who like Megadeth, but D tier for hooray for everyone else who might agree with our opinions, including us.
Yeah.
So you made it all the way this far to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, make sure, like, subscribe, comment, rate, follow, all the things. Build this musical community, and this episode is just one of those things that you could do it to. Tell us where you would rank the songs. Tell us how you would rate the record. Justify why we're right or wrong. We're curious to hear it. We want you to be part of the discussion.
Hell yeah.
And not even just here on the streaming platforms. We also have the socials as well, at Rate the Record Podcast over on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, at Rate the Record on Twitter. And of course, just send us emails if you want to as well, at ratetherecord@gmail.com. Or not at Rate the Record, just ratetherecord@gmail.com.
Yep.
No, I believe it's called an Affenschwanz, the A with the swirl around it.
Oh.
I learned that back into a grade 12 communications class. But anyways, no two Affenschwanzes, only the one.
Interesting.
Affenschwei, is that the plural? Anyways, Affenschwei, I like that. So before we let you go, because we're obviously rambling on too much and losing our minds after having to deal with this album, we do like to give a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a heads up of what's coming on next week. Next week is my choice. I get to pick the album, and so
Nice.
that means it's going to be good.
You do have a pretty good record. Yeah, I'll give you that.
My track
much.
record's been, I was going to say A+, but if we go by the average of things, I don't know. Anyways, that was the
Pretty
joke. But yeah, anyway, so next week we have a 3-piece prog metal band / degent too, degent kind of being a subgenre of prog metal, that originally started as one single artist, and the album we'll be looking at was done by just that one artist. To certain... I was going to say eagle-eyed people, but this is more of an ear thing, I guess. To the bad-eared people out here, I guess. I don't know. You probably already know who it is, especially if you're really privy to the metal genre. But other than that, if you don't know, you're going to have to wait until next week, just like everyone else.
Heck yes.
So once again, thank you very much for tuning in today. We look forward to seeing you again next week. So until then, listen to some awesome music, and we'll see you then. So take care, friends.
Bye-bye.